thing I would say is no, just because I don't like things that are just text based. I do feel like it'll get, because I just think it'll get outdated in 9 months. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Whereas just order more magazine subscriptions. You know what I mean? Like I think there's a lower investment to order more magazine subscriptions and keep them on higher rotation. At the patient health networks too, they just got CP24 or much more music on the TV, and it keeps it going. So yeah, I just feel like this will get outdated, and then what are you going to do after 9 months when it looks gray and the technology has changed?
Okay, and what about you guys? David, Lucas, Rachel?
I would agree. I don't know if I would use the technology, because I'm afraid that it will get just outdated in the next. By the time you roll this out, it takes a year maybe.
Right.
Kindle will be long gone. There'll be another type of Windows tablet out there, another technology, and if you get on that, then there will be another set of technology that you're always struggling to keep up with it because of the timelines for implementation.
But it's not a Kindle though. It's like a Kindle-like sort of
e-reader.
Yeah.
So if it was just this type of technology, I would probably be interested in looking at it. I'm not as up to date on like iPhones, or I don't know an iPhone or a Mac or anything.
And to be clear, the Kindle is just an example. It's some type of e-reader which would allow you access to up-to-date magazines and up-to-date newspapers.
I just think that regardless, that technology is, like, if it's something electronic, the technology is going to change so quickly.
Yeah, I think though that, like, the reason why I hate to touch the magazines is because everyone touches them, and there's not, like, you can't clean every page of a magazine before reading it. And if you go into a clinic and everyone's sick who wants to touch it, I feel that this would be a much more sanitary way of doing it if you could wipe it down
As long as you
before
can wipe it down.
used it. Yeah, like, of course, that caveat, but I think that, you know, I also think for me, I have a Kindle and I love Kindles, and it would all depend on what the selection, the choice would be of what you can read. But I think maybe if you had something that could also really make it look like the actual magazine. I'm not a magazine reader, but for someone like you, Laura, if you could see the magazine as it was on something more like an iPad. The only thing is, for people who aren't savvy with these devices, it might be a little bit hard for them to pick up. But if you could get a company to sponsor you to have these devices put in and get updates on the devices, then it would sort of solve the outdated technology problem. I mean, this is like a really sad thing to say, but magazines could pretty much well disappear in any number of years from now. And then, you know, even if you don't have the latest technology, you have some kind of technology that's that much farther ahead than where you were.
like if you could totally get like a media sponsorship with like the New York Times or McLean.
Or I mean from the device.
Right.
Like a sponsorship from the device company.
Oh, okay.
You know,
so, but what I was saying is like you could actually sell sort of placement in medical facilities to.
How would you feel about that? I feel like that's almost a focus group in and of itself.
Privatization of sponsorships.
Not really. It's not privatization. I mean, like look at Ryerson. They give out a free Toronto Star, right? Like they have free Toronto Stars everywhere. So there's some sort of media.
But I don't know. I almost wonder if you would feel when you're sick and you're waiting to get like public health care being marketed to. I don't know.
I don't think. I mean, because I never read Maclean's, right? But I'll read it at the doctor's office because it's funny. But
I just read it at the dentist today, actually.
Yeah,
the cover was like G20 thugs.
Yeah, I find it humorous, right? Like I never read it, but again, if it had, I think if it had, I'd definitely use it if I knew that it would speed my visit to the doctor along. Like
it may not speed it along, but you might think that sped it up.
Or if
what I'm saying is if I had the interactivity though.
Right, if it was interactive, like if you could play a game on it, that would also be
well, and also just that I know that I can be like, okay, I'm going to a new doctor, I've never been here before, I can give them all my info and know that it's secure, and that there's no way it's going to come back to who I am, or like, if and I'm sure a lot of people there are people that probably are still, you know, very paranoid about putting their information out there like that. But for me personally, like I know it's already out there and it exists anyway, so it's not a huge deal as long as there's some, you know, a couple of safeguards in place for the information. Then
Just gotta check with Artie, is there any other questions that we need on film about this stuff? Because I think we're probably pretty good.
I think that's good.
Pretty good?
Yeah. That's mine.
Any sort of last thoughts? I've got some nice red too. So we think we're good?
I think so.
Do you have any sort of last thoughts or anything we should capture from just things up at Schulich?
Let's wait till my phone stops ringing.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, go.
is it vibrating the camera?
Any last thoughts about
I like
this?
the easy to clean chair. Because now I'm trying to think back about before I started going to Patient Health Networks, my other.
What do you think about the chairs at Patient Health Networks?
I don't remember them, to be honest.
They're wooden.
Oh,
They're
really?
light colored wood.
I don't remember them. Like, you honestly don't wait for very long, and like, and they have all the latest magazines. Like I read the mags, and
Yeah.
it's much more music, which
See,
I
I
never
wouldn't
watch at
touch-
home, so
I
I get to
wouldn't
see
touch
some of the
the
videos.
As long as it's easy to use, the interface, if you're going to introduce this type of technology, because it has to be okay for a 10-year-old and it has to be okay for a 9-year-old.
Which would also
And
be another thing too, if it had like a graphic interface and a text interface, right?
Oh, okay.
So if you had, yeah, exactly. Well, exactly.
I think that's a wrap. Okay, thank you guys so much.